Yo, Big Hawk again. Happy 12/7/22 to you. Woke Wednesday, everybody. Make sure that you heighten your awareness and become a better person. So, for today's Woke Wednesday, we're going to talk about culture and laws, all the things that are going on in the world that should be changed in order to improve wokeness. And as we all know, my particular category of wokeness is fatphobia, okay? The problems of fatphobia. Okay. First thing I've got is a random, a myth, right? There's a huge myth that goes around that the United States of America is the fattest country in the world. I take offense to that. I take huge offense to that. Not because being fat is a bad thing. Being fat is an absolute good. It's an absolute good. The thing that bothers me about that is that, look at the list of the fattest countries in the world. Hold on a second here.
Fat, 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 fat. Hey, big belly, you should be proud. It don't matter if one is a crowd. Takes a big belly, thin is out, and now big belly is in. Go! Fat, 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 fat. I like to eat whatever I feel like at any given time. I don't care if it makes me look like I belong in gravity. Fat, 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 fat.
As you can see here, using the website called Info Please, you look at the top 10 list. The United States is not even on this list. I mean, as far as the top 10 go. It is on this list, but it's number 12. If we're not in the top 10 of the most obese or fattest countries in the world, that's a problem. That shows that the United States is not as woke as everybody claims it to be. So the question is, what are some of the things that we can do to make sure that we do get on this top 10 list? Let's look at ways to fix fat phobia. One thing to do, Body Positivity Month. We have Black History Month, we have Pride Month. We need a new kind of Pride Month. We need body positivity, right? Body positivity focuses on the people who have alternative types of bodies other than He-Man. In fact, not only is He-Man a terrible thing to be celebrated, it's better to celebrate big bellies and things like that. And of course, all the other disabled people as well. They are included, all the disabled people are included in Body Positivity Month, but especially big belly people. Because do you realize how much time, how much effort it takes to get a big belly? You gotta eat a lot of food. And look at me. Compared to some of the other heroes, I'm very thin. Like Nikuata Avocado. I probably said that name wrong. But the point is, we need a Body Positivity Month, and we need to, praise people for, adding more humanity to the world. The second thing we need to do is change the United States Capitol. Washington, D.C. is a pretty whatever place. The location is fine. The problem is it doesn't have as many. It is definitely far from being the most anti-fat phobic place in the country. The most anti-fat phobic place and the fattest municipality in the United States is McAllen, Texas. McAllen, Texas should replace Washington, D.C. as the capital of the United States of America. If we do that and we expose more of the big bellied folks like me, we will become a more fat, or should I say big boned, people aware country. And of course, that's an absolute good thing to do. Okay, now that we've talked about national problems within the United States. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. No, we're gonna move on, yeah. National problems in the United States. Back to our info please list. Philippines, which is the country that I'm staying in right now, Philippines is not even on this list at all. It's not even in the top 20. So a lot of the things that I'm saying apply to the United States as far as, raising awareness needs to also happen to my other country that I reside in, which is the Philippines. Back to the international conversation. Like I said, McAllen, Texas should be the new capital of the United States because it is the most obese city in America, right? So if the U.S. capital needs to be changed, then also the international capital should be changed. Some people think of New York City as a capital of the world because it is home to the United Nations headquarters. That needs to change. The United Nations from now on should be meeting in the city of Denigo Modu, right? That's the capital of Nauru. Nauru is the country on our info please list as the most obese country in the world. And if it is the most obese country in the world, then its capital should be the capital of the world. That seems like common sense. Now, enough with international state politics. Let's talk about international religion. Actually, I think pretty much all religions are technically international. I think there's very few religions that would say that their religion should stay within the borders of their country, with probably one of the few exceptions that I personally know of is the Pharisee Judaism, where they relied on the temple. The temple that was destroyed and is currently being occupied by an Islamic community with an Islamic mosque in Israel. But I was just making a point, or mentioning that I'm not making an opinion on that situation. So far, the most fat-phobic religion I can think of is, Okay, back to religion. Continuing on the topic of religion. So as for religions participating in the Fatphobia culture wars is Christianity, especially the Catholic Church. So a lot Catholics and some of the Christians who follow this program, Lent. Lent is this part of the year where you deny yourself things, right? You deny yourself the greatest of human pleasures. The Catholic Church has mandatory fast days on Ash Wednesday, beginning of Lent, and Good Friday, the second to the last day of Lent. So the only redeeming quality about this is that they have Fat Tuesday, which comes before Ash Wednesday. And on Easter Sunday, it's acceptable to indulge in some of the things that you gave up for Lent. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's fatphobic to have a faith. I respect people's faith. As much as I want to make laws and change things so that people become less fatphobic, I can never change your heart. But I can offer you better or alternative philosophical ideas so that you will depend less on denying of the self, and you can more embrace the way you are, which is the most important moral that I know of. It's just embracing yourself. You're perfect just the way you are. You're perfect, okay? I am here to remind you of that and show you ways that you can totally fulfill that feeling of being perfectly satisfied with the way you are. So the Christian Lent practices 46 days of self-denial, and it's largely implied that most of those days, and specifically 2 of those days, are fasting days. Well, I'm going to propose something similar, but it's going to be the exact opposite. Lent occurs sometime in the spring, the late winter and spring, right? So I'm going to take Ash Wednesday. I'm going to add 182 days from Ash Wednesday. Actually, let's use the year 2023 as an example. Lent in 2023 will start on February 22nd. And that's when February 22nd is Ash Wednesday. So I'm going to add 182 days, which is basically half a year. And instead of Lent, we're going to have lunch. Lunch is going to be 48 days of self-indulgence. We're going to have our own Fat Tuesday, but we're not going to stop there. We're going to keep going. After Fat Tuesday, it's going to be February 22nd, 2023, and it's going to be February 22nd, 2023 will be Ash Wednesday. 182 days from that is going to be, half a year is 182 days. 182 days from Ash Wednesday is going to be August 23rd, which is also Wednesday. We'll call that Woke Wednesday. Get ready. August 23rd, 2023, Woke Wednesday. We will continue what we were doing on Fat Tuesday. And we're going to make a solemn vow to continue that for the rest of lunch. And then we had on April 7th, 2023, it's going to be, we're going to commit to the rest of lunch indulging ourselves. So, on August 23rd, 2023, 182 days after Ash Wednesday, is also going to be a Wednesday, Woke Wednesday. We are going to commit to 48 days of self-indulgence. Of course, it started on the second Fat Tuesday of the year that we just had, and towards the end of lunch is going to be October 6th, 2023, and instead of Good Friday, which is in Lent, we're going to have Fat Friday, which is in lunch. And all it is a greater celebration, even more than usual. Since Good Friday is a day of fasting, Fat Friday is going to be another day of feasting. And then going on October 8th, 2023, we're going to have, instead of Easter Sunday, we're going to have Eater Sunday. Eat as much. This is going to be the day of the year that you eat the most. But there's no shame in eating the most that you possibly can every day of the year. But if you struggle with that, if you're a little bit fat phobic and you're trying to recover from fatphobia, let Eater Sunday on October the 8th, 2023, let that be the day that you cleanse yourself of fat phobia. If anything, lunch may be over, but you're going to continue lunch as long as you can. And if you start to become fat phobic throughout the year, you can always come back to lunch next year. Just take Ash Wednesday and the same 47-day schedule, just add 182 days, except for leap year, in which you will, if it's in February, you're going to have to add 183 days. We're going to commit to the rest of lunch indulging ourselves. So, on August 23rd, 2023, 182 days after Ash Wednesday, is also going to be a Wednesday, Woke Wednesday. We are going to commit to 48 days of self-indulgence. Of course, it started on the second Fat Tuesday of the year that we just had, and towards the end of lunch is going to be October 6th, 2023, and instead of Good Friday, which is in Lent, we're going to have Fat Friday, which is in lunch. And all it is a greater celebration, even more than usual. Since Good Friday is a day of fasting, Fat Friday is going to be another day of feasting. And then going on October 8th, 2023, we're going to have, instead of Easter Sunday, we're going to have Eater Sunday. Eat as much. This is going to be the day of the year that you eat the most. But there's no shame in eating the most that you possibly can every day of the year. But if you struggle with that, if you're a little bit fat phobic and you're trying to recover from fat phobia, let Eater Sunday on October the 8th, 2023, let that be the day that you cleanse yourself of fat phobia. If anything, lunch may be over, but you're going to continue lunch as long as you can. And if you start to become fat phobic throughout the year, you can always come back to lunch next year. Just take Ash Wednesday and the same 47-day schedule, just add 182 days, except for leap year, in which you will, if it's in February, you're going to have to add 183 days. Okay, to wrap this up, we talked about the rearranging world capitals and, making more holidays for big-bellied folks like me. And we talked about religion. And again, if this offends you, I'm sorry. It's not the point to offend your faith, your Christian faith, or whatever. I'm just here to bring you my challenge to you. You have a right to profess your faith. I'm professing my faith, which is that big belly is best. You have your fasting faith holidays. I have my indulgence faith holidays, and they should have equal representation. So, as always, let me give you a big hawk thanks for watching.